Good morning to everyone. My name is Chiara Parisi and I am a PhD candidate at the University of Ferrara in the Museum of Paleontology and Prehistory Piero Leonardi. Today I'm virtually here to present one of the digital educational activities carried out in our museum and developed inside my project of research. Before going in deep of the topic, I just want to introduce you the Museum of Paleontology and Prehistory Piero Leonardi. This museum was born in 1964 thanks to the will of Professor Piero Leonardi, holder of the first chair of geology at the University of Ferrara. Thanks to him connection worldwide, changes and donation, we have today a very good collection divided into different sections, the geological, paleontological and prehistorical one. Unfortunately, this museum is closed since 2012 due to a terrible earthquake that struck the city of Ferrara in that year. Today, we are still fighting with the chance to reopen our museum to the public, that in the past had a big role for the citizen. But for the moment, we can only be open virtually or physically just in a special occasion like some events or collaboration with school. I started from this point to highlight how important it is for our institution to use digital system in order to be virtually open to our public and communicate our collection. Of course, in the second step, I will going to introduce you what concern my digital educational project. As a prehistorian working on a sustainable aspect, my aim was to use the prehistoric collection of our museum to let the audience know about the relationship between the sustainable use of resources in the past, comparing it in our present, how the environment is changed to the time, and how life is evolved consequent to it, and also understand the differences with nowadays environmental changing. But how to do that? Understanding environmental climate change and their consequences is not so easy to catch because of its different shades. And to face this topic, we must apply an interdisciplinary approach. In order to do that, I decided to apply the power of geographical thinking skill, using a multi-perspective approach to explain the journey of human evolution. As I already mentioned, our museum is temporarily closed to the public. So to reach our audience, we point on the digital application that in this specific case is represented from the use of digital storytelling. But a specific one, in order to answer to our mission to be accessible in all of the shade of its meaning, I choose the Esri ArcGis StoryMaps as a digital storytelling tools. Because this one is a particular software of digital storytelling that in a simple way allow the user to create a digital content that will be accessible, interactive, and it is improved by the use of a map that for my specific topics are like fundamental. So, digital storytelling is a powerful to combine the narrative power of stories with the versatility and accessibility of digital platform, giving a new voice to the museum artifact and to what they can teach us. The path developed at the Museum of Paleontology and Prehistory Piero Leonardi aimed to enhance its collection through the power of a multi-perspective narrative and digital accessibility, communicating the prehistoric collection related to human evolution with the application of different perspectives and the geographical contextualization of the find in the historical context. This path is available in two languages, English and Italian. Is of course available online. For example, you can scan the QR code to join the path and is on site on the table touch of the museum. Of course, you can join us only in the very few special occasions in which our museum is physically open. This digital storytelling starts with an introduction of the human evolution and then take the virtual visitor in this digital journey inside different perspectives that explain the human evolution. So with the spatial perspective that teach about the fact that human species come from Africa, introduce the first ancestor of Homo, then pass to the geological perspective to explain the territory of the Great Rift Valley in which the human life has begun. Then, of course, we have the ecological perspective that is very interesting to explain the migration of first human, and also very interesting in order to understand the differences between the migration in the past and the migration that happen nowadays. So the online results were very interesting. We had on the online digital storytelling approximately 300 views, and it was initially launched on September 1st, 2023, direct email within the city and the school and the city of Ferrara. And this digital storytelling was developed in conjunction with an in-person activity at the museum. The digital result may be modest, but of course represent a favorable starting point because, as I said, on 300 views, we only had 6 answers on the satisfaction questionnaire. They answered, I highlight in this slide, the most interesting results. That was the definition of the path as interesting, funny, stimulating, curious, and so on. I found interesting that 100% of the users find this path agree that this path hollow to reflect in a deeper way on phenomena that occurs in our planet. The 100% of people agree that these paths hollow to understand the interconnection of phenomena on a global scale, and how important is the interdisciplinarity to go in deep on phenomena and historical process. And the other one is interesting because it's positive results, but it tells us that we need to work a little bit more on this aspect. And is that 83% agree that these paths help to go in deep on the knowledge of environmental change and understand how the modification of the environment can affect the way of life of the human species. But the 60% is not completely agree with this definition. So we still need to work a little bit better on this aspect. On the contrary, the in-presence activity parallel to this digital storytelling that was organized in collaboration with the School of the City of Ferrara was more, because in that case I was able to submit a paper questionnaire. So all the students that take part in the activity, that was a total of 134 students, give me the answer. And also in that case, we had very positive results that agree with these 6 online answers for the digital storytelling. So, in conclusion, I want to say that this work aims to arouse curiosity and interest in visitors. An object must be able to tell its history, the individual event linked to it, to the society and the world to which it belongs, as well as the time that later transformed and relocated it. Digital storytelling, so in this case, is very important because all of the objects of a museum to tell their story in a dynamic and widely accessible way. immersing ourselves in a time and space which, although it no longer exists today, but it can teach us a lot about our present and how to face our future in a sustainable way. Thank you for the attention. I'm sorry that I will not be able to be present there, but I'm always happy able through email. So there are my contacts for any question or whatever. Thank you for the attention.